What if you could build a business that gives you the life of freedom you deserve? What if you could find the secrets to marketing, leadership, customer service, and other aspects of business that help you exceed your goals? What if you could walk away from your business for 30 days and it never misses a beat? That's what this podcast is for, to help business leaders like you find freedom from the day-to-day grind and start spending your time doing the things you love. I'm Levi McClendon, and my co-host is Josh Taylor, and this is the Cheers to Freedom podcast.
Welcome to the Cheers to Freedom podcast. I am Josh Taylor, and I am with Levi McClendon. Levi, you doing well?
I'm doing really well. Just getting ready to take off, heading to Arizona for spring break. I know it's crazy. I'm in a place where people come to visit for spring break, and I'm leaving. Although they go to Arizona too, but I'm from Arizona. I got to go see the family, do a few things. My kids aren't really happy, but anyway, we're taking off tomorrow for about 10 days, so we're going to try to make the best of it.
Today, we're talking about the plan. This is part of the StoryBrand framework, and this is one of the steps. And last week, we talked about the guide and the role that we play as a guide using both empathy and authority, and that's episode 14. So this is episode 15. Levi, we've been doing this for 15 episodes now. We've made it past that benchmark where most podcasts fade out.
Well, they say, I was reading some, they said after actually 7, not too many make it past 7. So when we hit 7, when we hit 8, I was like, sweet, we've made it.
We're really doing it.
So yeah, to hit 15, to be honest, it feels like more than 15. So to keep this pace is not always easy. I don't understand how people do it every day. So once a week for me is plenty. So
they don't have 10 kids. That's how they do it every day. So, again, we're talking about the plan part of the StoryBrand framework, and this is a really important part. And I think that this is a step that you and we've been visiting a lot of different car washes. We've been doing these on-site strategy sessions, and this is part of the process that we see missing from a lot of the sites that we're visiting, and whether it's our customers or even just me going to a car wash, we don't see this part of it. And there's really several different types of plans that we need to be implementing into either it's our facilities or our website or social media or these kind of things. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is the plan. And this is something that you and I have talked a lot about, especially as we develop these calls to action for our customers, which we'll get into in next week's podcast episode. And these, this week and next week do kind of run together. I really don't think that you can have one without the other and what we're going to be talking about. So, but anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about is the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a good guide gives a good plan. And I think people are looking for that. When you are the guide and you're able to lay that out, people feel confident, they feel comfortable, they're and it gets back to that even authority and credibility. So when you lay that plan out, and Josh, you're right, from people's websites to their on-site signage to marketing and advertising, things that we see out there. You talked about last time, if you confuse, you lose, right? We get that from, I don't know, Don Miller, but I'm sure he pulled it from somewhere else. And if it is Don's well done. But we, if you confuse, you lose. And sometimes not even saying anything is confusing because we see that. We saw that at the car washes on site. You see that on websites. And so I think it's really important. And I'm excited today to talk about this because I think when I first talk, when you first think about it, you're like, oh, it's a plan. We'll do this, or people assume that this is what happens. Mm-hmm. But you've got to be crystal clear in what you want people to do, call them to that action, give them that plan, and they do it, which is awesome. So come up with a good plan.
And you're right. And communication, one of the key things that you just said is the assumptions that we make. We assume our customers know things. Well, we've got to stop doing that. It's what we call the curse of knowledge. We're so close to the business that we can't see the way we communicate. We can't see our business the way that our customer sees it. I have 2 experiences that I recently experienced this with. One of them was this morning. I was going to get gas, and so I was going to get a loan first to fill up my car. But I was going to get gas, and it was storming outside. We had some really bad weather go through this morning, and so I pulled up to the gas station, and I guess it got hit by lightning or something like that. But the screen said, "Please see attendant to pay." And that was aggravating to me because it's storming outside. Now I've got to run through the rain to go inside. to pay. And when I get there, the attendant, comes to the register and says, I tell him I want to put, some money on tank number 4. And he says, oh, our tanks our pumps are down. I'm like, okay, well, that's probably what the screen should have said instead of run inside and pay the exactly. I'm like, how many of your customers are going to get
So
really aggravated at you today because now they've got to run through the rain to find out that the pumps are not working? And that was really frustrating. And then, my bank that we do our mortgage through recently merged with another company. And so all the things that happen with that, and a lot of our listeners know what merging with companies does, and what how it can screw up a lot of the databases and technology and stuff. And so the online banking was getting merged, and we knew that the companies were merging. We knew this a year ago, but we didn't realize that last week was the week that it was all going to happen. And so all the online banking stuff is being merged, but they don't say anything about it. And so I'm trying to log in to pay my mortgage, and it just wouldn't work, and I couldn't, and it kept crashing, and it kept telling me my passwords was wrong. And so then I finally called, and I get put on hold. It says my wait time is over an hour. And so I was aggravated. I waited. I finally got through to the person, and apparently it wasn't the right department that I was supposed to talk to, even though I've called the number that was listed on the thing. And so I just finally said, I was like, look, ma'am, this has been a really bad experience. And that's when she said, it's really been tough for us too, because we're merging our online database and all of our online banking, and we didn't, and it's not working out. I mean, like the merge is not doing well. And so our online banking keeps crashing. And I was like, you guys should probably let your customers know, because you have a lot of customers that are just getting really frustrated. And all you have to do is send out an email and says, hey, we're having online banking issues, so don't try to log on today. Step 2, let us work this out. Step 3, try back in 3 days and we'll have it fixed. Instead of all of your customers just getting really aggravated that their online banking with this new mortgage company is not working.
Yeah, and the reality is we all have problems. We've all experienced that. And you have one company that will be super good at communicating that, and you're fine with it. I get it. We all make mistakes. OpSpot makes mistakes. We're a technology company. We're a human company. But it's how you handle those mistakes. You own up to them, and you communicate that to your customer. So it doesn't matter what business that you're in. Always take that road to be over communicative and let them know, hey, we're having a problem. Hey, great. Just let me know when it's done so I'm not frustrated. Right. And our car washes, those that are listening out there, one of the programs or things that we offer, one of our products is the retention, member retention. And part of that is communicating. And I know we're getting off track a little bit, but if you have a tunnel down for a reason, and you don't let your customers know, and now I drive across town and I come in to get a wash and I can't, that's frustrating. And so think about that, Josh, that experience that you had today. We should all learn in our own business, in our own life, that, listen, this is what I don't like. So I'm going to make sure my customers don't ever feel the way that I feel right now. And that's what we really want to do as far as, again, communicating, putting that plan together, even if it's this is the we're down, but here's step 1. We're going to let you know when we're going to open. We're going to keep you posted, and now you can do this about it. And man, just that just relieves so much frustration for people, and I think that is super important. So,
well, and we've got to realize that our customers are taking a risk when they're doing business with us, and that's why we want to come up with a plan. Commitments are really risky for our customers. And so the first commitment that we're asking them to make is come buy a single wash from us. And so there's a risk that they could risk wasting their money. They could risk, not getting the results they expect. Whatever it might be. And then the next one that we're asking them to do is commit to a monthly membership. And there's obviously that's an even bigger risk for them, even though most people don't have contracts or anything like that. They're still committing to pay this and give you their credit card to do this.
Okay, you just said something there, Josh. You said most of them don't have contracts or whatever. How do customers know that? And that goes to, when I'm going to pull my credit card out, I'm going to pay whether it's a single wash, whether I'm paying unlimited. Let's break that down a second. So let's go back, okay, because I do want to get into that, because we're going to talk about the agreement plan, okay, which is going to minimize the risk. And we need to do that from a single wash purchase on site to whether it's a marketing piece, a postcard, an online ad. I don't care what it is. You've got to you've got to be clear that the risk that you're taking is very, very minimal, right? So
Right.
that agreement plan, we definitely want to get into, but let's back up a second, because we have two things that we typically talk about a lot in the car wash space. You just talked about it, the single wash, okay? Right? That's a lot of customers are your single wash customers, and then your membership plan, which is even a bigger commitment. So if I'm going to take somebody from that baby step of single wash to that unlimited, there has to be a clear path in order for somebody to take that. So let's talk for a second. In a single wash, I mean, it seems pretty like basic. Like, I'm coming to the car wash, I'm going to get a car wash. Tell me, Josh, for a single wash, what is the plan? Like on-site, off-site, online? Just give me an example of what that looks like to lead my customer down that path of having a good plan.
So if I'm going through your website or social media or something like that, I want to see a plan that says, drive to our location, choose the wash you want, and then, enjoy driving a clean car that makes you look and feel, that looks great and makes you feel great, whatever. But that's 3 simple steps. Drive to our location, choose your wash, drive off in a car that looks great. And we like that third step to be the success. And we're going to talk about the success bucket in a couple of weeks. But we like it to be the successful results. We want it to be that vision that we're going to cast for them. So, step 3 is get the results that you expect in essence. And we want to do 3. You and I have talked about this. We remember things in 3. We remember 911. We remember stop, drop, and roll. It's easy for the brain to remember things in 3. And so even if the whole process isn't exactly 3 steps, you can summarize the whole process in 3 steps. And that lets people know, you ease their concerns by letting them know this process is not going to be difficult. I want to know that it's easy to do business with you, and then make it easy for your customers to do business with you, which is a whole nother conversation.
So let's say I get to the wash, right? I saw a sign, advertisement, somebody referred me to your wash, and I come there now. I feel that as we continue to do on-sites and see all these, we're going to talk menu boards for a second, because I feel like menu boards are extremely confusing. And I feel like this is the first touch point that a customer comes into your wash. To me, this should be one of the most simple things that a customer sees so that they know exactly what to do. And I feel, and in my opinion, okay, this is just an opinion right now, but we are doing some testing on this, but I feel like these need to be very, very simple steps that, imagine a first-time customer coming through, right? Shouldn't those also tell me pretty simply, choose your package, here's 3 packages, drive through your wash, like enjoy your wash. Like, it should be choose a package, insert, pay, and drive off in a clean car, whatever that looks like, right? I mean, shouldn't we just make this as simple as possible instead of all the bells and whistles, unlimited packages, and multiple pricing, and just so much on this board? I feel like that we're confusing people. I really do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We're bombarding them with information. We're bombarding them with icons and words and brands and all these different things that they don't understand, and we're pulling away from what we actually want them to do. And you and I have used this phrase a lot, especially over the last couple of weeks, is control the narrative. Control the narrative, which means you want to lead your customers where you want them to go. And the only way to do that is to keep them from getting distracted by everything else. You've got to help them focus, and really you've got to tell them exactly what you want them to do. And so if you want them to pick a wash, don't make it difficult for them to pick a wash. If you want them to pick the best wash, don't make it difficult for them to pick the best wash. Tell them exactly what's in it. Don't use a bunch of words and brands they don't know who they are or what they mean. Just tell them exactly what's in it. Most people will drive through and they want the best. But we make it so difficult for them to choose the best that they just go with the basic one because it was the easiest to understand. And, we say this before and we say this again, we don't buy the best products. We buy the products we understand the best.
Yeah.
And so if your basic wash is the easiest to figure out, they're going to go with the basic wash, not the best wash, because there's so many icons that I don't get that I'm not sure what I'm getting in that.
Well, and I think throughout on site, we'll talk about that just for a second, from the menu boards to going through your tunnel, right? They always have loaders. So that's really important too, to have signs, take your foot off the brake, put it in neutral, right? Those are pretty simple. And a lot of you
Yeah,
guys
and
do an
car washes
amazing
do
job
that
with
really
that.
well. Yep.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that, right? Safety. And you want the car to not be crashing into the car in front of them. But that is very important. And a lot of training is spent on that. But those are just three, forward, stop, neutral, hands off the wheel. Like, you've got that down. And then once you exit, right, there's good signage, and there should be good signage. And if you do things like the mat cleaners, and maybe you have towels, and maybe you have an air hose somewhere, and trust us, we've been to these sites where all of these things are available, but it's not clear. It's not clear how to use them. It's not clear where they are. Even having, I know this is a debate on Talk Car Wash, is bathrooms, right? Do we let the customer know that there's clean bathrooms? Well, listen, if that's an amenity that you offer, or if you offer, the air freshener, whatever that is, our recommendation is to be really clear about that and put up some signs that actually are going to benefit the customer, and put arrows. And Josh and I recently talked about even putting images of smiling people with pointing, and over here you can find clean bathrooms, and over here you can find clean towels, or whatever that might look like. So I think that that's really important to understand where you want your customers to go. And back to controlling that narrative, Josh, one thing that OpSpot wants to help our customers do is get them into, the way we help control that narrative is through messaging, right? Through video and messaging. But it's initially getting them into what we call a drip, a database that we're going to drip or nurture a customer, so that we can tell them and control the narrative and educate our customers on why they need to get their car cleaned and clean it more often, and why they can save money. They are going to save money. And let's talk about the agreement plan for a second. This is a great place to say, hey, 100% happiness guarantee. And that may be a billboard or a sign that it's guaranteed. The money you spend with us is safe. And you've got to be putting that in your messaging, on your signage, billboards. So whether it's a happiness guarantee, or a clean car guarantee, or maybe it's the money back guarantee, or you're doing your monthly memberships, and you want to make sure that the customer knows, again, you want to lower that barrier, minimize the risk, and say, hey, this is month to month. This is not a contract. So in your messaging, that needs to be highlighted. So we immediately, the customer, when they're pulling out their credit card, they're thinking, hey, this is really low risk. And if I like it, I keep it. And if I don't, I don't.
Yeah. So we've got the and we're going to get into call to action. So I don't want to go too much into next week's episode, but one of the calls to action that we do to get people into their lead generator is, text this number or text this keyword to this number and get your free wash. And we'll have that as a sign on site, or as the call to action, the main call to action on your website. That's step one. Text this number to get your free wash. And then always let your customers know what the next step is. And so the next step is, drive to our wash and redeem your coupon, or redeem your coupon at our wash, and get our best wash. We encourage our customers to offer their best wash as their free wash. And then step 3 is, again, the results. Enjoy driving a clean car. If it's your unlimited membership, sign up for unlimited membership. Step 2, wash your car as often as you want. Step 3, never drive a dirty car again. That's your 3-step process for unlimited memberships. And then you've got the agreement plan, and that is answering the question, here's what you can expect from our business as one of our customers. And that's where you have the money back guarantee, or the satisfaction guarantee, whatever that might be. Great customer service, clean bathrooms, everything that you need to wash your car. And that's where you talk about your amenities, all of those things. All of that lessens the risk for your customers. And that's what you need to do. Your customers are taking a risk by doing business with you. Let them know how easy it is, and mitigate as much of the risk, if not all of the risk, that you can. Let them know we're taking the risk for you. All you have to do is just come be our customer. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I think I just want to reiterate back to the unlimited membership plans. Something that I feel like can be improved is a simple sign up process, and to make it simple, and to give the plan very simply in a 3-step. Like, number 1, scan this code. Number 2, fill out the form, choose a package. Number 3, maybe 4 steps, maybe 3. For some places it's see an attendant, right? Some is, some's not, but let them know, see an attendant. And 4, like you just said, wash daily, feel good about your car every single day. But it has to be that simple. And then the process itself needs to be simple and that's for a whole nother episode. Gosh, there's so much in this that I feel like needs to be, if we want more memberships and if we want memberships to stay on longer, we need to be clear with our message. We need to be better with our sign-up process. It needs to be easier to collect money, but we have to put a plan, minimize the risk, make it easy, and I guarantee you're going to sign up more members and keep them longer by just being really clear with what to expect and then delivering on that. So if I do scan, if I do text in, what am I getting? Oh, next, you're going to get an RFID tag. Oh, okay, I'm looking for look for the attendant. Like, I know that sounds just kind of remedial, but it's really not. Like, we have to be oversimplify things. And I want to give just a quick example, Josh. I just changed over my payroll from QuickBooks because they ticked me off. I mean, I was so frustrated. And trust me, I've used them for years and I did not want to change because it's a lot of work, but I was so irritated and aggravated.
QuickBooks is not one of our sponsors this week.
Yeah, it never will be. Not now. But I switched over to a company called Gusto, and I signed up, went through everything. They made it really simple to do. And one thing that stood out to me, it was really cool. After I'd signed up and went through, they pay your taxes and stuff for state and federal and whatnot. And it was cool. They sent me this little alert. It might have been an email, may have been when I logged in. I can't remember. But they said, hey, the state of Florida is going to send you this paperwork in the mail. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything. You can throw it away. And this stuff is complicated. I hate all the taxes. I hate that's part of what I do that I hate the most, to be honest with you. But they eased my, just this anxiety of once I got that. And literally we got those yesterday, and Jenny gets them, my wife, and she's looking at these. She goes through them all. She's like, oh, what do we need to do? And I said, hey, Gusto let me know. I didn't have to worry about them. Boom, put them in the garbage. And it stood out to me, and I was like, that was really cool that they did that. And even
how much
Josh,
did your trust go up for them?
Oh, it was huge. Like, that is I trust them now, like you said, and I did. They said, I'm going to get them. I got them. I threw them in the mail. I'm now a bigger, and I'm talking about them today. So far, so good. We just changed over to them. But I liked that communication. They were, obviously they communicated their credibility, right? That just went up with me. I'm like, yeah, they predicted it and it happened. And that's, again, what we need to do with our washes, with OpSpot. I mean, we're constantly working on, when somebody signs up, man, we need to let them know there's a lot of steps that take place. So we got to make sure that we're keeping them engaged and keeping them up to date so that they feel like their hand is being held and they feel like we care about them so that they continue to engage and trust us. So that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the moral of this episode is never leave your customer asking the question, what do I do next? Just communicate with them every step and don't assume that they know.
Don't assume.
Yeah, we know what the next steps are because we're in it every day. We know it, but we've got to be able to look at our business the way that our customers look at it, which is really, really difficult. And so the best way to do that is to have somebody who's not in your business take a look at it and say, is this confusing or not? Is this as simple as it could be?
Well, and I think just asking, I think you're right. I think that curse of knowledge is huge. It's big in my business and all of our business because we just think everybody else knows. And so I think even asking those customers, and we try to do that when we're on site, we ask customers, why they signed up, how long they've been a member, did they pick, what package did they pick, why did they pick the package, did they know there was unlimited? I mean, I just talked to a customer of a car wash the other day and said, hey, how long you been coming over? A couple years. We come here 2, 3, 4 times a month. Oh, great. You unlimited? No. I said, well, did you know you can be unlimited? No, I had no idea. I'm just like, how do they not know that? But clearly there wasn't a clear path to even take them down and to educate them on that. But I like that, Josh. It's what do you want me to do next? Make sure that we're communicating that. Make sure we're putting it on signage, on follow-up emails, on follow-up text messages, and leading them down the path you want your customer to go. And they will absolutely go. So that's important.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, cool. Well, next week we're going to be talking about call to action, and I think that this is the part that I see a lot of businesses really making a mistake is this call to action. I think that this is probably the weakest point in a lot, and probably in most industries, and I'm seeing it a lot in the car wash industry. And so, stay tuned for next week's episode. This week and next week really go hand in hand and work well together. So, hey, until next time.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Got to steal your line.
No,
Y'all
I
have a
know.
great week, and we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.